And how did you two meet?
Oh.
It's sort of a funny story, sort of. You see, a few months ago, on the 4th of the month, I met Jack at a music festival.
Right.
And we got on very well and sort of had relations. And the next week, that is to say on the 11th of the month, at Jude's baby christening to be exact, following the consumption of quite a lot of alcohol, Mark and I, well, we had similar relations. And this is the funny part, I suppose. Owing to these relations, the resulting life form currently residing in my tummy could actually, in fact, be either of yours.
And that is a clip from Bridget Jones' Baby, and I'm delighted to say Colin Firth is back on the show. Renee Zellweger, very nice to meet you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. And Colin is not ill, which is...
I'm not ill, no.
But Renee is ill.
Well, in certain respects, anyway.
No.
So are we going to be able to hear that you're poorly, or...?
Probably, I think so. What do you think?
I can't hear it.
No?
No, I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, that's all right.
So so we're back doing Bridget Jones. You guys haven't changed at all. Ironic laughter from Colin.
I know. I thought if they could see your face.
Describe his face then, Renee.
Describe Colin's face. Oh no, I meant your face.
Oh, my face.
With the rolling
Describe
eyes.
that. So Edge of Reason was a long time ago.
It's time for my radio career to start, I think.
So Edge of Reason is 2004. Why now? What was the process by which we've all ended up in the same room again?
Oh, I'm glad it took some time.
Have you got 15 years?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first on that?
Well, I mean, it's very hard to mark any particular points because it sort of staggered along in all sorts of forms, didn't it?
Yes, I agree. Well, there are so many elements that have to come together in order for something like that to work. And I think everyone was sort of taking their time with it because they want to get it right. I think everybody's a little cynical about the idea of sequels, especially probably a third installment of any film. You would be skeptical. And I think we kind of share that cynicism, don't we?
Yes, so if you are, if you're concerned about that, combined with the fact that even if you do get a script right, and getting a script right is it's not the easiest thing in the world. As you only have to look at the number of films out there where they didn't. And then to get all the people together, it's hard enough to cast a film at the best of times. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to get the same people all together at the same time, all willing, thinking the script's worth doing, and all the rest of it, it's obviously it's herding cats, really. Yeah. And
Mr. Firth, he won an Oscar, and he has simply not been available.
He has. He's gone on. He's done a few good movies.
He's done a few good movies. I know. Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
I think somebody else won an Oscar. We've enjoyed them a lot.
They've been great.
No, it's not. I think it's just. It was going to go at one point. I mean, there was a production office and costume fittings, and it fell apart. And that was quite some time.
Sorry,
ago.
what?
Yeah,
it was in production. It was about to go.
And
costume fittings. People were going in and trying on their frocks.
Yes, and locations and
and then suddenly it wasn't happening. Telling you how far it got. Yeah. And then what happened then? Oh, and then I died in a book, and then a key actor was unavailable.
Oh, right. Okay, so this is the reference to... So there was the new Bridget Jones book. Yes, that's right, in which...
All sorts of reasons why it looked like it was game over. Yes. And then there just was this determination to do it anyway. And
who was that other actor who said I can't remember. Who was it? He said he couldn't do it. Was unhappy with stuff.
He was
Hugh.
He was marvelous. He was very good.
Yeah, he was.
Good hair. I remember really good hair.
Anyway, whoever he was, how easy was it, Renee, to become Bridget again?
She was very familiar. The process was obviously familiar to me at this point, but new, interesting kind of challenge to carry on with the character so many years on in her life experience, trying to figure out how to show that a person has evolved in certain respects, and probably more importantly, how she has not evolved. But it was a lot of fun. I think it was, I was very selfishly motivated in wanting to participate in this new chapter. Happy Reunion
with this extended film family who I've shared a lot with over the years, and I'm kind of just happy to come back and see everybody and revisit it all.
And what is the key to Bridget? Is it the way she walks? She does have a very distinctive way of walking. Is it the accent? What is the key to getting back? I mean, maybe you can just turn it on. I don't know.
Well, it's a process, like any job, any character that you play. And yeah, she does. She has a different walk in the way that she carries herself, and she's just a little more open in the way she carries herself than a lot of the characters that I play. And I just get back into it and practice like every other thing, I suppose.
And it's great to hear your English again, because your English accent is so fantastic. And I think, is it right, your dad used to work in Ealing?
He did.
And your parents both
he
worked
worked
in
at
London.
an ice cream factory in Ealing. Yes, he did.
Which is where you did some of the filming.
So did at Ealing Studios. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make that connection. This was Dad's old stomping grounds. Yeah.
And Colin, presumably, I mean, I'm making a huge guess here, but I'm guessing that getting back into Mark Darcy is...
It's falling off a log, yeah.
Well, I was looking for a slightly different phrase, but maybe.
Well,
that.
yes, obviously. I mean, if I started trying to claim that there was any difficulty in it, I think I'd be met with a bit of derision and skepticism, really. But I'm going to make that claim. No, the thing is that then I haven't been thinking about, I actually haven't been thinking about Mr. Darcy. My waking minutes over the last sort of 12 years. I know it's strange. My mind has wandered to other things every so often. I'm aware of the fact that the other people might have seen this film, the first film, the second film, more recently than I have, and some of them have seen it lots. I last saw it in 2001. And I knew it was something to do with being extremely constipated. But I felt I should go and refresh my memory as to what it all looked like.
And what did you think?
I knew it was supposed to be easy, but I thought, what if I can't? What if it's all a bit different? No, I mean, I looked at it and I was really struck by how charming that film was. I mean, I really think it's a good film, not just a good rom-com, just a good film, and in a very all-round way. And I realised there was something to live up to. The anxiety went as soon as I met Renee and I heard that voice again, and and everyone came. Of course, it came back, and it was pretty straightforward. I just had to point my suit at people.
What has changed for Mark Darcy? What has he been up to in the intervening decade?
I don't know. He's been going to, helping the hostages and
saving the world.
Yes, I think he's been doing high risk, noble things. Defending the rights. What you see in the film. He's defending free speech and making cases for asylum seekers. And I think his life has probably disappeared into his work. And I think, as Renee was saying, she mentioned the things that don't change. I think it's an old comic trope, really. The characters don't change. They don't learn from their mistakes. You find them the same over and over and over again, which is true of Mark, but he's older. And so I think the fact that things haven't changed have probably started to look a bit, causing him concern.
So what has Bridget been up to?
Well, she's a bit more professionally accomplished. She's moved on from being a TV presenter to running the show. I think she's a little less naive, but no less optimistic or hopelessly romantic. And I think that that's such a big part of her charm, and that's her essence, really, isn't it? What I love about this is that we're catching up with these characters, and they're challenging the idea that you're supposed to have figured things out by this stage in your life, because things are still a little bit messy. And in that respect, it's kind of a coming of age story for people in a different stage of their lives. You usually see when you come into your own and you start to figure out what it is that you want for yourself, establishing happiness for yourself as you define it. experiment, challenging sort of the social paradigms about what your life is supposed to look like versus the truth of what it is.
Do you have the same pajamas? I realise this isn't a particularly incisive question, but it was pointed out to me that you appear to have the same pajamas in this movie as you did in the last movie.
Do you know they made the material? They had the material made, and then they went through. They did a really good job of actually aging them to making them look like, they reproduced the pattern of the material.
Had you noticed that, Colin? Had you noticed it was the same pajamas?
I didn't get close to them. There's a sad indication of my trajectory in this film, as I didn't get anywhere near their pajamas. No, the reindeer sweater.
Yeah, there was.
That had to be reproduced.
Yes, yes. It did, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
It
The
did.
other one was.
You do flirt with that sweater just temporarily.
I do. I sort of.
In
Yes,
this movie.
I
Can I just ask you about the extent to which you can improv at all? Because there's a lot of physical comedy in this. There's a scene particularly where you, Bridget, being carried to the hospital. I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler, but I guess it was.
No, I think
cool.
it's all right. It's out there.
I think it's out there. Yeah.
Which looks terrific fun. I mean, do you have that freedom to make things up a little bit?
Depends how long you've been carrying somebody. Sometimes there's something blissful about there being no acting required. I think it don't impose any acting on a moment like that, really. I tried once and it didn't end well. I thought, let's make the walking look a little more difficult, and it was a lot more difficult than I bargained for. I knew it was. I could tell this was funny. I mean, I don't know how much fun it was for you being folded in half in a revolving door.
A very pregnant woman being folded in half in a revolving door.
With two men, yes.
Yeah, which was slightly scary. Can you improv at all, Renee?
That's my favorite thing about it, actually, is to see where it can go, how awkward you can make something and make it appear natural, that you're not trying to do anything. I mean, the panic and fatigue by the end of the 2-3 days of schlepping me around town was probably real for you, though, I'm imagining.
It was.
But it is.
It was fun.
It's fun.
It's a little more fun to watch than it was to do, perhaps. But it was fun. And actually, I'll tell you, if you've been playing Mr. Darcy endlessly for decades, it is quite nice to do something where you're alive from the neck down.
I understand. Now, this might be the mind playing tricks, but it occurred to me that maybe this Bridget Jones movie, is more potty-mouthed than the other two. Is there more swearing?
I don't know.
I was quite struck by the naughty words. I was. Particularly as there were some kids when I saw it. And so you hear it more.
Right.
You hear it louder.
A couple of the characters have always been pretty.
Well, yes. I mean, Jude was always the filthy one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And of course that actor had a lot of. You remember the actor we were talking about?
Oh yeah, yes, that's right. He did.
Yeah.
The guy with the hair.
The hair guy.
Yeah. The guy who dies in this movie.
So, there was. I was actually struck when I saw the first one.
Maybe it's because there's a scene where a child swears, and so maybe you think, oh, okay, well.
But the first one had a lot more of that than I'd remembered. There was some R-rated language in there.
Do you think that this is a franchise that is going to keep going then, Rennie? Because here we are back again, and we've made a reference to the next book or the third book which Helen wrote, and that's taking Bridget up to when she's like in her 50s. So you're going to be here a long time. A look of horror passed over their faces.
No, I love this experience, and I love this character, and I love the idea that the stories that she tells might resonate with people, as she moves on. What an interesting idea. Well, now that we've revived it, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's the old people's home version, isn't there? Yet to look forward to, and the tubes and the bath chair. And
it's ongoing. And Renee, are you back because you took a break and you were doing other things and traveling the world and so on? Are you back now making movies, or have you? This is going to be an intermittent thing?
Oh no, I've been enjoying myself a lot, and I'm reading things and see what's next. Sure, yeah.
So you're not going to take another 6-year break?
Oh, maybe if it seems necessary, Colin
Kingsman, I think, was the last time when you came on the program. talk about a potty mouth movie. There's and I think there's another one on the way. You filming that at the moment? In fact, that suit. In fact, you have a Kingsman kind of look about you.
Do I?
Yes.
Are you extrapolating?
I'm quite fearful for my life, basically.
There is another Kingsman movie being made, yeah, and it's no secret that I'm involved in there somewhere. Even I'm not entirely clear what that looks like.
Oh, okay. What do we see you in next then that you can tell us about?
Gosh, what's next? Yes. Since we spoke, there's a film called Genius, which has come out in America, which is about a relationship between a literary editor and an author. That's with Jude Law. And
I think you told us about that.
I might have told you about that. I'm already in the can, yes. Right. All right. And then there's a film called The Mercy, which is about a sailor called Donald Crowhurst who attempted to be the first man to sail single-handed around the world.
We appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed, Colin. Renee, thank you very much indeed.
It was nice talking to you. Thanks.